we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy. No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRNradio.
Ready to learn some medieval combat, kiddo?
You bet, Dad. Let's do this.
You know, spending quality time with your kids is important, but finding a fun and safe way to do it can really be a challenge. That's where halberds come in. Halberds are the perfect way to bond with your kid while teaching them about history and physical fitness. Plus, they're a blast to play with. So next time you're looking for some family fun activity, grab a halberd and get ready to make some memories.
Come on, Dad. Round 2.
Halberds, bringing families together one medieval battle at a time. This commercial brought to you by the KLRNradio.com Ad Council.
I listen to a lot of true crime. I listen to it at night. I like the girl talk. It makes me feel alright. I like scary stories in the morning, and I like them at night. I like the girl talk vibes. They make me feel just fine. I listen to a lot of true crime.
Front Porch Forensics deals with the darkest corners of human nature. This show contains graphic discussions of murder, violence, and the brokenness of the human soul. Listener discretion is strongly advised. But if you choose to stay, well, family, pull up a chair on our front porch, but know it gets real dark here real fast. Welcome, KLRN Radio friends and family. This is Front Porch Forensics. I am flying solo tonight. I am Bump Stock Ken, your host for the night at least. Bump Stock Barbie, your hostess with the mostest, is been attacked by the evil pollination of the world right now, and where we live here in the mountains, it's pretty bad. It looks like it's snowing yellow. So she's not going to be joining us tonight. It is just me. So if you guys can join on the chat, you see there's Bump Stock Barbie there saying, "Hi, honey. Hello, honey. Love you. Stay inside. Stay safe. Get better." Her voice is completely gone, basically. And so she decided she's going to stay in and kind of stay in on the chats. We are out there streaming live on X, Front Porch Forensics, at Bump Stock Barbie, at the KLRN Radio. I believe at Rowdy Rick is also going to be out there. He's the main man here at KLRNradio.com. But again, tonight is just me. As I showed earlier, as y'all was coming in, the episode tonight is This Week in the News. So we're going to be diving into 4 or 5 true crime stories making headlines or generating fresh discussion, at least, here in April. I know it said this week, but I think it actually may cover a past few weeks, couple of weeks at least. We'll start with stunning resolution in the Gilgo Beach serial killer case, where Rex Heuermann, I'm going to go with Heuermann, is now pleading guilty and made chilling new confessions. Now, he's always said that he is innocent, that he didn't do these things, but now he's actually pleading guilty to them. So we're going to cover that a little bit. I think we're not going to spend a lot of time on that story because the Gilgo Beach killings, I think they deserve a full show. But we'll go over some of the stuff tonight for sure. Also, we're going to go to an ongoing penalty phase in the FedEx driver that murdered the 7-year-old Athena Strand. So we'll touch on that. You've seen that. It's been in the news pretty regular, pretty heavy. It's extremely heavy story. So I want to tell you now, I know in the beginning we looked at the, I gave the little warning at front that I've got stored here, but this story with Athena Strand for sure, it deals with children. There's another story that also has a teenage girl involved that we're going to talk about. So any kind of murder or torture or anything of those lines, any kind of horror that befalls children seems to be worse, because it is an innocent, the innocence of innocence being attacked and destroyed and perverted and harmed, and it's very, very touchy. So again, I'm going to add to the warning that tonight's episode will have at least 2 stories that involve horrendous things to children. So just keep that in mind. Laura there, bump stock, Barbie says that one bothers me a lot about the FedEx killer, the Athena Strand, and I agree. It's pretty rough. Next, the disturbing case involving musician. This is funny, his way he spells his name. It's D4VD. Dude's name's David, but he's going to be edgy and put D4VD. So I'm going to call him DeForvid, you moron. So DeForvid and the death of a 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. I'm just going to go Celeste. So we'll be looking at that. And we'll close the modern cases with the classic cold case look. The cold case revival, the 2002 disappearance and presumed murder of Michelle Rust, where her husband now faces charges after 24 years. And then, if we have time, there's a bold new theory about the Black Dahlia. And I don't think we've covered her yet, but it's an interesting case from the 40s, 1947, linking the Zodiac killer to her. So if we have time, we'll delve into that and look into that too. But as I said, I'm by myself. I have a much more higher tolerance to pollen than a lot of people. Even though it is rough, like I'm looking at the cars and the stuff out here right now, and it's real heavy. So I don't blame my wonderful wife for staying indoors and not making this any worse. So forgive her. She's in the chat, and she'll be back with us as soon as we can. But I'm going to be out here, as you can see, on the porch. We got my co-host back there, Slim. He's hanging out with me. And so we're just going to get into it. As always, when I can, I'm going to be out here. But while whether we're in on the porch or inside the house, as long as we're doing this show or in any kind of discussion that we have about these cases and this kind of stuff, we center on the victims. We like to make sure that they are the ones to be remembered, and any moment that I can mock or belittle these cretins that cause all this harm, I'm going to, and because I don't think they deserve any kind of honor, any kind of recognition beyond the pieces of crap that they are. So the victims, they're real people. In this case, they're all daughters, sisters, mothers, everyday folks. Their lives were taken. So we're going to examine public evidence, forensic details, court updates, and behavioral patterns with respect and rigor. Listener discretion is strongly advised. This episode contains graphic descriptions of violence, dismemberment, child harm, and sexual abuse allegations. If that's too heavy for you tonight, then pause and come back when you're ready. And but we'll get into it now. I will warn you when it comes time when the kids come up. So if you need to step away, that's completely cool. I understand. So I've got my notes here. So we're going to go through some of the notes so I stay on track, especially since the hostess with the mostess isn't out here with us. Yeah, she just posted that there is Audible available in Athena's case, but we're not going to be sharing that. We looked into the videos and listened to it. And of course, it's out there if you want to go find it, but we're not going to be releasing that stuff. Not on here. All right. So we're going to start segment one. We'll kind of delve into this. Like I said, it deserves its own show. So when we are back to full health and full power, we will dig into this one much more. What's the word? Much more thoroughly, I guess. Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann. That's where we're going to start with. And on April 8th, 2026, so again, the beginning of this month, in Suffolk County Court of Long Island, 62-year-old former architect Rex Heuermann stood up and changed the trajectory of one of the most haunting serial killer investigations in recent memory. He pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder and, in open court, admitted to strangling an 8th victim. So previously it had been 7, and now he's coming up. He's saying he's got 8 now, coming out again. The case tracks back to 2010 when the search for missing sex workers Shannon Gilbert led to discovery of what became known as the Gilgo Four: Maureen Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Lynn Costello. Their remains are found along Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach, often wrapped in burlap or similar materials, discarded in a remote stretch that suggested a predator familiar with the area, which we know is Rex. Further searches uncovered additional victims, including Jessica Taylor, Valerie Mack, Sandra Castilla, and others, spanning a killing period from roughly 1993 to 2010. Many of the victims were sex workers who used sites like Craigslist and Backpage, women who were too often dismissed by systems that failed to protect vulnerable people. And we've mentioned this several times before. These people that hunt their victims often target these women that can fall through the cracks of society. The ones that seem to be on, very low on people's radar as far as caring for them, or looking out for them or even missing them. It can be In this case, sex workers. Oftentimes, it's homeless people, or drug addicts, a mix of the both. Of each. We've noticed in the past a lot of times too. It's they target homosexual men, and a few times we've seen hitchhikers, things like that. But this case was sex workers, and also there's something since we brought that up. We need to do a story or a show about indigenous peoples, Native Americans here, and they're huge, percentage wise, grossly outnumbered or out of balance, missing persons cases with Native Americans, and the fact that the way their laws are structured versus United States laws and their reservation laws, and the way the lack of communication goes seems to hinder that process. So that'd be another good one to look at too, show. So let's mark that down for the future show. Gilgo Beach is where we're at now. It says Gilgo Beach was also going on at the same time as the Lisk killings, if I recall correctly. That's from Bump Stop Barbie, and I couldn't tell you. I will trust you in that, because I'm not sure myself. I didn't research any of that stuff. But like I said, I don't want to delve too deep into it. I do want to mention, since it did say Craigslist and the back page, I'm familiar with Craigslist. I know you can buy cars and stuff and all that marketplace stuff. I didn't realize there was like I don't know, sets trade or something just right there on Craigslist. Is it like, I guess, in the personal sections or something like that, I'm assuming? And Backpage, I'm not sure what Backpage is. If somebody in the chat knows, I'm assuming it's one of those shopping like Craigslist is, just personal ads or somebody trying to sell a toaster. I don't know. But anyways, okay, Long Island serial killer. That's what Lisk, Lisk. That's why you made it capitalized, all 4 letters, wasn't it? Yeah, Long Island serial killer. So, but anyways, Craigslist. I know they have. I know there happened enough on Craigslist that they've really cracked down on what you can add there. They really police it now. I don't use it anymore. Car parts, things like that. I may do some shopping there. I'm actually looking for a dresser for the tiny tyrant to put in her room, because my word, how much clothing can a teenage girl need? She's tiny. I don't understand. It's mind boggling. I don't know. Hello, Pam. Laura is inside the house, nursing pollen-induced laryngitis. So it's just me tonight. Sorry, guys. I'm going to put on the smoke show for the ladies. But sorry, fellas, it's just me tonight. Yes, Craigslist is known for sex work. We'll do an episode on a Craigslist killer one day. Yeah, okay. I knew that sounded familiar. Apparently Backpage is something like that too. We'll have to look into that kind of stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not very computer literate as far as those kind of things goes. Facebook Marketplace is about the only place I stay when I'm looking for something. Alrighty. So let's get back to where we was at. Hewerman was arrested in July 2023 after a long investigation relying on DNA, burner phone records, vehicle data, and geographic profiling. The DNA was hairs matching him or household members found on victims. He lived a double life, respected family man, an architect by day, and a hunter at night. So we see that a lot as well too. Not necessarily the majority of the time, but enough that you see people talking about. Well, I would have never guessed he had a family. He done such a good work at the church or at the car wash or at the donut shop. Everybody loved him. Whatever. This guy was architect, and I know John Wayne Gacy was also a I guess architect not architect, but a handyman. He built stuff, prints, construction worker, along those same lines, So there's a lot to it, a lot of things that these hunters, these killers, these monsters share in common, which is something that's kind of scary because you see so many more come up with, oh, they're just a normal guy, and then they were living this double life out there. And I don't know. It used to be where you had traveling salesmen and they lived a double life. They just had a normal family on the East Coast and a regular family on the West Coast. They didn't kill people in between, or maybe they did. I don't know. They say there's a bunch of serial killers out there still, and that there's more that we never caught than we did catch. So on April 8th, 2026, Howerman pleaded guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder and 4 counts of intentional murder covering 7 victims. He also admitted in court to an intentional killing of Karen Bargata, the 8th woman victim. He stated he strangled all 8 women, and that was his preferred method of murder, was the strangulation. Anyway, so resentencing is scheduled for June 17th, 2026, with multiple consecutive life sentences without parole expected. Victims' families attended. Emotions ran high as all the details emerged through this case that was going on. Now, yeah, Laura says that it's always ones least expected. And again, it's these people that just look normal, like they would fit in anywhere. This is him here, old Rex boy. He looks like any normal fella you would see out and about, nothing special about him. Kind of a little beta looking male. You wouldn't think that he could hurt nobody. Just a doughboy with his eyes is a little creepy. And there's something else you notice too, is that their eyes, it always shows in their eyes, those weirdos. So, but there's Rex. And again, he's figured to be sentenced for 8 counts of murder with life without possibility of parole tagged to each one of those. Strangulation is actually psychologically important. It's very personal, and it's not as quick as TV and movies make it out to be. And that's absolutely right, honey. That's something we've talked about in movies before. When you see somebody choke somebody out in a movie, and it's like over, and as soon as they pass out, they just let go. And that's not the way the anatomy works. You're going to have to, it's going to take a long time. Otherwise, they just pass out and they'll start breathing again. You really got to put the work in, and it's closer. I mean, stabbing is extremely intimate as well, very, very close, but strangulation is arguably more so. But again, not to glorify any of it, that's just the way it is. Movies and TV have a way of cleaning up the facts is about the horror of what this kind of stuff really is. I won't say glorifying it or romanticizing it. Violence in general, yes, they do. It's pretty disturbing how easy it is to watch these things unfold on TV because it's on television, it's in a movie, it's not real. But to think about what it really takes to end someone's life like that, it adds another level of evilness to these monsters that do this because there's intent. It's not something that just happens. Like she says here, manual strangulation especially, that's literally hands-on. You're not using tools or anything else. You can literally feel their heart stop. Yeah, you can literally feel the life leave them. And to me, that's a whole new level of that evil intent right there, strangulation. So definitely not a good dude. And we'll touch on his entire case later on another show because it's a rough one. And I want to make sure we give the victims their voice back in a better way than just highlighting it today. Yes, Laura says it being movies and all that kind of stuff, it sanitizes it as far as violence and everything like that is what I'm assuming. But that's what I was kind of thinking too. It makes it easier, more palatable. Movies and TV does. Now, the most disturbing recent revelation comes from his ex-wife, Asa Ellerup. And I have a picture here of her. It's a off the web, so I don't think it would hurt to put it up there. But after 27 years of marriage, they divorced in 2025 in the Peacock Discovery series, The Gilgo Beach Killer: House of Secrets. And that's out and available now on Peacock Plus or whatever channel it is. It's a Peacock original, I think. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it this week. But that's part of where this still shot and everything comes from. Ellerup describes a supervised jailhouse conversation just before the public plea, and Howerman appeared very, very nervous. And when she asked directly how many women he had killed, Retz replied without hesitation, 8. He further confessed that 7 of those 8 murders occurred inside the basement of their family home while she and the children were away. He claimed he never killed when the family members were present. As of this recording, Ellerup lives in that same house. Throughout the years, she's renovated her basement, new floors, walls, moldings, everything. Everything was stripped, and she's redone it. And she has been, quote, sleeping there as a form of spiritual atonement for the victims. She describes ongoing nightmares and has accepted the guilt after initially defending him. Her attorney has emphasized the family's focus on the victim's loss. Forensics ties already included household hairs on victims and other trace evidence, and the basement confessions adds to a horrifying House of Horrors layers to the double life. Now, watch the documentary. I'll have to watch it myself because, like I said, I haven't watched it yet either. But her sleeping in the room as atonement, I don't know, man. That's kind of deep. Pretty rough. I don't know that would be a healthy way of dealing with this. I'm kind of surprised she didn't sell the house and move. Yeah, Laura says, well, at least he was conscientious of his family, very sarcastically, by waiting till they wasn't home to do the killings. I don't know. The truth of it is she probably didn't want the he knew he could get away with it because there was no witnesses there, nobody to work around. But yeah, such a good guy, kept his family, their mental health at the forefront of his mind there. Let's see here. What else we got? The DNA from hairs, from family matches. So it's not just his hairs that they found on the bodies, but hers, and the rest of the families were found. Parts of the, carpeting fibers, things like that, were also found on them. Burner phones used to contact victims, vehicle records placing him near dump sites, and behavioral patterns of an organized offender who targeted vulnerable women over nearly 2 decades. Of course, you always have to wonder if there's more victims that he's not named. Maybe there's more remains out there to be found. How did he evade detection so long in a populated? Like, I know his family wasn't home when he would bring these women in, but did no neighbors notice? I don't know. But anyways, like I said, we're definitely going to cover old Rets here and do a proper story and give a proper attention to the victims that they deserve. Screw old Rets, but we want to make sure these 8 victims get their names remembered in the most honorable light that they can. They don't need to be remembered as wretched victims. They need to be remembered as by their name and who they were. The trace evidence is likely just typical transfer when he was dealing with the victims in his own home. Yeah, she is the expert on this stuff. I'm really just the pilot that pilots this part, and I know enough to babble about it and give my own opinion and my own thoughts about it, but that's really about it. So we're going to move now to from this long-term serial killer case that's finally getting some closure to the victims' families. We're going to shift to a heartbreaking crime of opportunity that is still unfolding in the penalty phase. So I mentioned earlier about the violence against children, and so this is where I'm going to reiterate and remind you that this is pretty rough. It's ongoing. It's fresh on everyone's mind. You can go online, any kind of news source, and get any kind of videos you want from it if you want to. I'm not suggesting you do, but if you want to, you can find it. So we're moving now to the FedEx driver killer, the Tanner Horner and Athena Strand. So on November 30th, 2022, in the tiny rural town of Paradise, Texas, again, very small, a population of under 500, 7-year-old Athena Strand was excitedly waiting for a Christmas delivery, Barbie dolls. Instead, she encountered a 34-year-old FedEx contract driver, Tanner Lynn Horner. What should have been a routine package drop-off turned into a literal nightmare. Now, Athena, that's a cool name. You don't hear that a lot. I like that name, Athena. Let me get a picture up here. So Athena was a vibrant little girl, energetic, trusting, the kind of child. We're not going to share the audio from this case at all. I got a few pictures, but we're not sharing any of the audio or any of that. I just don't think that would be a good thing at all to do. So again, Athena was a vibrant little girl, energetic, trusting, the kind of child who lit up her family. On that day, she was outside of her home when that piece of crap Horner arrived. surveillance, and his eventual statements describe the interaction. Prosecutors say he abducted her after claiming he was accidentally backing the van into her and panicked that she would tell her father. Video evidence captured moments of Athena near or in the vehicle, and like I said, that kind of stuff can be found online if you want to go find it. But I'm not going to share it here. I had it available, but I'm not going to share it here. But yeah, he pretended to hit her with the van as she was backing up into the yard, and basically just getting close to her. In the back of the FedEx van, Horner admitted he tried to break her neck and failed, and then he decided to strangle her with his bare hands. He dumped her body in a shallow water under a bridge along the Trinity River, roughly 10 miles away, near a patch of bamboo. The next day, he continued his delivery route as if nothing happened, even returning near to the search area, going about his regular day again, like everything was normal. When asked about the missing girls, he reportedly reacted with surprise. He says, quote, "Are you serious?" And his digital footprints were pretty damning. Searching for the FedEx truck cameras, searches for do FedEx truck cameras record, and looking up images posts about Athena and the ongoing search. So once they started looking into him, they found his search history, asking about the FedEx cameras, which would be on his trucks. And he wanted to know if they'd actually record everything. So he was definitely, after the fact, looking into it. So he initially lied to investigators for 2 days before leading Texas Rangers to the body on December 2nd, 2022. Autopsy and medical examiner testimony detailed the strangulation, the trauma, and forensics evidence included the male DNA on swabs that could not exclude Horner, strong victim DNA links, video footage, the vehicle footage, the body cam of him guiding searchers, and his confession is all on video. So they've got him dead to rights, basically. I'm going to take her image back down for a minute. So Tanner Horner. So Horner was charged with capital murder of a child under 10 years of age and aggravated kidnapping. He attempted suicide in jail in May of 2023. And I'm glad he didn't succeed, because I really need this guy to burn. And again, there's more details and all that, but I'm not going to read through those right now. It's maybe some time later, but Athena doesn't need to be remembered like that. So he attempted suicide in May of 2023. So now we're going to fast forward past some other stuff and to April 2026. This is why it's in the news now. The trial opened in Tarrant County, which is a venue change from where he was arrested. On April 7th, Horner pleaded guilty right at the start, skipping the guilt phase and moving straight to punishment. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, and the defense is pushing for life without parole. The penalty phase has been intense. Prosecutors presented graphic evidence, including video, audio of Athena's final moments in the van. It says jurors reportedly become very, very emotional. Some family members and other members in the courtroom had to leave the room when all this was going on, while they were showing these tapes. And yes, it's available online if you want to look it up. I'm not sharing any links. You put into work if you want to see it. I'm not going to make it easy for you. So let's get the image of him in court up here. They rested the case around April 16th or 17th after showing abduction, murder footage, and playing hours of interrogation where coroner detailed the sequences. His post-crime behavior, continuing the route, the searches, the helping, the internet searches, all that kind of stuff, and his consciousness of the guilt was heavily emphasized, along with the breach of trust as a delivery driver interacting with the public. The defense has focused on mitigation, claims of autism, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder from his mother's drinking during pregnancy, severe childhood lead poisoning, developmental delays, and a troubled upbringing. So basically, anything that they think they can, anything they think that might help their case out, they're definitely throwing it out there, getting any kind of sympathy they can get for the guy. His mother testified tearfully, describing her own history with abuse and drug use and expressing shame. Teachers from the childhood and mental health experts have testified. The judge has held hearings, expert vetting outside the jury to determine admissible evidence. Extending the timeline, Horner allegedly mentioned an alter ego named Zero during interrogations. And as of late April, the defense is presenting its case. The phase could stretch into early May or even longer, with victims' impact statements and closing arguments still ahead. So it looks like, and again, all this is ongoing, so I'm not going to, I got to say allegedly, reportedly, and all that BS, but they have been pretty dead to rights in my mind. I think right now they're just trying to see if they can get like some sort of insanity plea or something along those lines, because it his alter ego Zero, all the abuse and all this kind of stuff, they're trying to build something up. But as Laura here says, he knew what he was doing. He was aware. That's why he covered up the camera, and this should be an immediate execution. I do not disagree with that. I don't know. I mean, you see where the defense is even asking for, they're not actually trying to get him off of anything. They're just saying life without parole instead of death at this point. So I think they've got him pretty much back to the wall where they want him. It's just coming down to what kind of deal they can get based on any kind of plea deal, insanity, or whatever it is. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on it. I believe I will kind of watch and see where this goes, and I encourage you guys to do the same, because like I said, it's in the news right now. It's current. It's easy to watch. Well, it's easy to have the ability to watch it. It's not easy to watch and listen to. It's horrific. Absolutely. It is, I can't come up with the right word for it, but it is sickening. Absolutely sickening. And I'm not sure that Texas death penalty is might be too good for him. Maybe they need to find out some way to make it slow. Let him kind of feel it. I've always said it's kind of, I wouldn't be mad if they done death penalties in the same manner that they caused the deaths. I kind of think that's would be fair. So, speaking of this case on the forensics and behavioral angles here, digital evidence, being the phone searches and the timelines and the tag, his phone tagging where he was during all this, built a strong consciousness of guilt narrative. meaning just like you said right here, she just put this up. His efforts to hide his crimes means he can't get off by insanity. He covered up the camera, but he still can't capture the audio, of course. Yeah, he absolutely knew what he was doing. He was aware. This wine covered up the camera. This should be immediate execution. Yeah. It does. She says Athena was a beautiful little girl, and she was absolutely precious. This case hits way too hard. It really, really does. This is a rough case, especially when it comes to children. It is extremely hard. So, the digital evidence, the location of the vehicle cameras from the FedEx cameras, and the route data helped reconstruct events. The case highlights risk in everyday interactions like package deliveries and the importance of vigilance. Athena fought hard. Prosecutors called her a warrior. Her family continues seeking justice while honoring her memory. This is a stark example of how a routine encounter can turn deadly. We examined evidence, the DNA, the video, the digital trails, the autopsy details, while remembering a trusting 7-year-old girl who deserved safety in her own yard. And this piece of crap creature, this cretin, this vile pig of a demonic a-hole took that away from her in her own yard. And I can't find the right words without being just vulgar to express what kind of torture I want him to experience throughout the rest of his days on this earth for this deed. So we're going to move on from that. It was a crime of opportunity, and we turn to a case blending celebrity, alleged grooming, and gruesome concealment. Oh, I didn't catch that. Laura just mentioned this part. I didn't catch that part about Horner. Says that he specifically requested the same truck the next day. He claimed he vomited in the truck and needed to clean the vehicle. That was his excuse to try to get the same truck back from FedEx. I didn't catch that part. But like I said, it's an ongoing case, so we'll definitely get more details out of it as it comes. I'm realizing now that the light is a little bit dark, so even for you ladies, I understand that while you're here and you're still watching me, and it's getting harder to see. So maybe turn the brightness up on your screen a little. I'm not sure how, but I apologize. The sun has went down and the lighting's not the greatest. I didn't set up a secondary light. Anyways, you can go back, get a screenshot, stick it up there, whatever. You know how pretty I am. So now we're going to move into, I'm going to say celebrity with quotations. It's a singer-songwriter. Golly, again, the titles we use nowadays that we bestow on people, man, they're given freely. I mean, you can just hit the bare lowest bar and all of a sudden singer-songwriter. It's like looking at me and go like, I'm a podcast guy. I have a podcast, which is a good podcast. I'm happy that all y'all out there listening to us. I don't care if there's 10 of you or 1,000 of you. It goes from week to week. But I'm no podcast professional. And this guy, I don't know, singer-songwriter. But here we go. The Forvid. David Anthony Burke, and his victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. We're going to go to from Texas to Los Angeles now. And again, this is how they describe him. Rising indie, which is independent, indie singer-songwriter, DeForvid. Real name, David Anthony Burke. Age 21. Known for songs like Romantic Homicide. Romantic Homicide. Can we get a red flag? He faces charges in the death of a 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And again, this involves children. This involves a child that is very close in age to my child. And so it's real hard to keep yourself detached in some of these topics and some of these shows, and this is one of them that will be hard to keep a detachment from. So this is DeForvid. Again, good-looking guy, completely normal. No red flags going off by the way he looks, just like Rex earlier. It is guy on the street, good-looking feller. Wouldn't think of what he's about to be charged with doing would be even possible. But here we go. DeForvid. Now, Celeste, let's go ahead and get her on there. Let's get rid of DeForvid and look at Celeste, the victim. I know I got a picture. There we go. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Not really a difficulty, just me. This is my problem. So let's get into it. Celeste was a young teen with her whole life ahead. Again, 14-year-olds. There's several photos available out there. If you want to look up this case, you can easily go do so. Photos show her smiling with curly hair in casual or wintered settings. Again, multiple different videos. She's a middle school girl, full of potential, full of life. She went missing in 2025. On September 8th, 2025, her dismembered and badly decomposed remains were found inside a zippered cadaver bag, plural, more than one, bags, I should note, in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to Burke. It was also linked to a Texas address, but located at a Hollywood tow yard and impound. So it's linked to his home in Texas, but was found in Hollywood. Again, this happened in L.A. DeForvid was in L.A. It is registered to DeForvid. Excuse me. And it was found at a tow yard. Burke was arrested by LAPD on April 16th, 2026, because the car was linked to him. On April 20th, 4 days later, the LA County DA charged him with first-degree murder, special circumstances, lying in wait, and financial gain. Lewd and I don't know how to say that word. Lewd and disgusting acts upon a child under 14, and continuous sexual abuse of a child, and mutilation of human remains. Prosecutors alleged that DeForvid sexually abused Celeste for months. This is where the grooming comes in. Starting when she was only 13, and he killed her to silence her after she threatened to expose the relationship. protecting his rising music career. And again, that's where I mentioned grooming earlier. Guys, I got a daughter who's 16 now, and her hair is very similar to this, different color, but the curly hair and all that kind of stuff. She looks like she could be best friends with my daughter. Laura says, I can't with these kinds of cases. She looks like a kid our own daughter will be friends with. That's exactly what I just said. And these cases seriously kill me. Maybe a poor turn of phrase there, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like I said, we may be in different rooms, but we think alike. That girl right there, Celeste, could easily be hanging out in our living room around our kitchen table with our daughter, eating dinner with us. And this piece of shit took her from her. And has been grooming her since she was 13 years old. And he was 21. So you're looking at 19, 20-year-old with a 13-year-old. That's the best case scenario in age difference. More than likely 20-year-old with a 13-year-old. Burke has pleaded not guilty and is held without bond. Preliminary hearing and status conferences are ongoing. One around April 29th to May 1st. Recent courtroom developments are particularly disturbing. Again, y'all, if you need to step away, I understand. It's not easy to listen to these kind of things. There they are. Again, this is from the same picture. The previously sealed autopsy report has now been unsealed, and it was released in court during the proceedings. So I'm going to read from part of that, or give you, an overview of what it said. Celeste died from multiple penetrating injuries caused by objects. Again, multiple, plural. Specifically, 2 penetrating wounds to the torso, 1 to the right abdomen, injuring the liver, and 1 to the left chest, disrupting the ribs. They are consistent with sharp force, stabbing-like injuries with smooth edges. So a knife, a non-serrated knife. Her arms, legs, and 2 fingers, left ring and pinky, were severed post-mortem. Blue plastic fragments were embedded in some of the cut surfaces, and the body only weighed 71 pounds due to advanced decomposition. Toxicology showed low-level ethanol in the liver tissue. Manner of death, homicide, no doubts. The time of death is unknown due to decomposition. Also being inside the trunk, the forward trunk of the car, inside that lot, really makes the decomposition worse. We've talked about that enough that y'all, then that's no surprise to anybody. Again, the dismemberment was after he killed her, and I guess probably to fit her in the trunk. He hadn't said yet. I don't think he ever will. In Thursday hearing, this past Thursday, 1 year after the alleged killing date, prosecutors revealed a significant amount of child pornography and child sex abuse material on Burke's iPhone and iCloud storage. Forensics experts are actively reviewing it, and over 40 terabytes of digital evidence have been collected overall, including wiretaps. forensics elements, body disposal in his own vehicle trunk, found decomposing at the tow yard, post-mortem mutilation and dismemberment efforts to conceal the crime, putting these dismembered parts in separate bags, things like that. Massive digital data haul, and the alleged motive trying to silence a victim to protect his career. All that points to a definitely, I can't say premeditated, I'm not sure, but it you can tell that he put work into this. It wasn't a crime of passion, I don't think. Maybe a crime of, in his mind, he is the only thing he could do, to save his career or whatnot. But with a song that says romantic homicide, I mean, plus all the other things he had, the underage porn, the level he went to silence her, just throwing the body in the trunk, and I'm assuming he just left the car somewhere and then it got towed and impounded. That's kind of how they, the tow yards work. If it was left in the side street or abandoned somewhere, they just grab it and go. They don't actually search it. They just pick it up and take it. And I'm assuming that's probably what happened. So premeditation, yeah, that's why that is absolutely premeditated, as far as he obviously planned it out as far as what he did with the body, and he knew he had to do something to silence her. So I guess that would absolutely be premeditation. Just extremely sloppy in the way he did it. And I mean, more to come as far as the sentencing that he's going to face. The trial's still going. You can watch it. You can follow along if you want to. We will probably touch back on this one at a later date when all that does come about. So again, questions persist around the full timeline when it started, the grooming allegations, which I think are pretty self-evident, obviously, and how digital forensics will tie everything together. All that will come out through the case, and we'll see. We'll be following along, or I will, to see how that goes. The case raises serious issues around celebrity accountability, grooming of minors, and the role of digital evidence in child exploitation investigations. Celeste's humanity must stay at the center. She was a 14-year-old girl whose life was cut short in this absolutely brutal manner. Yeah, she's saying he was an amateur in the way he done it, and he was. But yeah, absolutely premeditated. I'm glad will be off the streets, will not to do this again. But it being LA, you never know. So we'll follow along with this case and see how this goes. The case raises serious issues about celebrity accountability, like I said, and that Celeste's humanity must stay at the center of this. And here on Front Porch Forensics, that's what we always do. We make sure the victims are remembered for who they are, not what was done to them. We want them to be remembered as this beautiful young lady here on the screen that would have fit into my household just perfectly. It's sickening. These details are graphic and heartbreaking. They underscore the need for strong protections against exploitation, and we will continue watching preliminary hearings and any further unsealed evidence. We will absolutely share with you guys on upcoming shows and updates and things like that. We'll be here on X, of course, and at our at FP_forensics. You can check back on there. We'll update on that page on X as things come in. Laura actually says here he needs to be put away for life. We've seen how men like these get better over time. And that's true. And that's a twofold. It can be men like this get better over time. They get better at killing over time. They perfect their set of skills. And if he's willing to do this now for his career, then I think he would continue to embolden himself and go even further anytime he needed to. And him going to prison for life, I think, is the right call for California here. And I'll be interested to follow along and see how this plays out. And again, we will keep you all updated. Just watch us on X at FP_forensics, and we'll update when things happen. May mention it on the show eventually. So now we're going to go from that to a high profile case. This is sorry, there's a bug. This is a classic cold case revival here that I'm going to move on to now. It's I don't know if anybody has noticed this is in the news or not. It was kind of passing to me. I didn't see a lot of it, but the Michelle Rust cold case, and her husband Dwight Rust Jr., nicknamed DJ, right? So, more Matt. Okay. Laura says she's stepping away for a minute because, again, Celeste actually has a resemblance to one of our daughter's friends, and it's hitting on her a little hard. So she's going to get up and take a little break from the chat. So anybody else out there who wants to join the chat, please do. I will love to talk to you. If you're out there, just holler at me on the chat. So Baltimore County, Maryland. Michelle Rust, 24, vanished around July 19th of 2002 while preparing for her young son's third birthday party. She was last seen by her parents the night before. Her green Dodge Caravan was found near the home with the key broken off in the driver's door lock. Husband Dwight, DJ Rust, initially told police that she had left to buy party supplies and never returned. Now, that was 2002. In 2005, he lied to investigators about an affair that was going on at the time. Now, he later married that woman and had children with her too. This woman he's having an affair with. We're not going to mention her right now. That doesn't matter. We're talking about Michelle. After 24 years of Michelle's body never being found, a grand jury indicted DJ Rust on first-degree murder charges on April 20th of 2026. He was arrested April 21st and held without bail after a hearing. The judge cited public safety and flight risk due to the changed posture of the case. Prosecutors presented an 18-page document to the grand jury arguing the party prep alibi was unraveled or had unraveled. There's no evidence that she ran away. She was disposed, and he disposed of the body to prevent discovery, is their claims. Motives appeared tied to planning a divorce. Again, he was already having an affair, which he winds up after his wife disappears. He clears the way for him to be able to marry and have these kids guilt-free, right? Nobody's going to blame a guy to get remarried if their wife disappears. You know what I mean? So Defense attorney Jeremy Etheridge calls it a travesty, and that's to say the least, stating defense attorney Jeremy Etheridge calls it a travesty, and I think that's to say the least a travesty, but from the other side of the aisle here, stating there's no new forensic evidence, no DNA, no fingerprints, no eyewitnesses to a crime or prior domestic violence. He notes Russ has no criminal history, family support in the case, and cooperated over the years. Bail was denied despite eligibility for home detention. No trial date is set yet. Cold case breakthroughs often come from re-examined contradictions like the affair lie, old witness statements, and accumulated pressure over decades, even without a body. This case shows that lies and alibis don't expire. Michelle was a young mother. Her family waited 24 years for charges, and we'll have to wait for further developments in the case moving forward. So, to me, what we're looking at, it's kind of touch and go. Like I said, this is still going on. I can see both sides of this. The defense attorneys, what they're saying as well, as far as there's nothing new pop up. But the lie about the affair and all that stuff coming back out is pretty damning in a way. Everything is pointing to, yeah, that makes sense. That it all adds up to, it's probable that he was involved in this missing, this killing, or whatever it is. But again, circumstantial evidence is something that you have to be careful with. As much as you want a closure for Michelle and the family, you have to do it right. You have to follow facts. You have to follow the real, not your feelings, but the real part of it. That's where it matters, right? Do I think he's responsible? I very well could be. I'm not going to say that he is or he isn't. That's what the court and the jury is for. The evidence will come out. We here at Front Porch Forensics will keep an eye on it. And again, we will follow closely through this and keep everybody updated. And we'll see what evidence has to say. But as far as it being a travesty, there's no doubt about it. It's a travesty. Michelle is missing. After 24 years, most likely lost her life. I don't know that she's still with us. But even then, if she has went and that she disappeared without a trace, it's still a travesty because her family's out there wondering where she is. So the defense attorneys and everything, and I mentioned it being a travesty still stands, no matter the outcome from here. We'll wait and see. Like I said, like the old saying goes, Laura just reminded me, says, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And there lies the beast, right? So we'll follow it. We'll keep you updated, and we'll see where this leads us, because either way, it's probably going to be a wild ride, and we need to get some sort of closure for the family, either direction here. All right, so our final deep dive, which, if you want to call it deep, will step into historically unsolved territory with a bold new theory. We haven't covered this particular serial killer yet, because there's so much tied to him and the lore of this serial killer. But we'll definitely do a show to him. I think the Tiny Tyrant is interested in this serial killer as well. So she says that she will join us for that episode, which would be kind of cool. We don't get to see her on the show very much. It'll be nice to have her set in with this one. But I'm going to touch on this because it's in the news right now. A little more obscure than the other ones we looked at. But I do want to talk about it for a minute. So, I'm going to say these two. A lot of people have what I'm about to say will be completely shocked here because you'd never think you'd hear these two names put together. The Zodiac Killer and the Black Dahlia. Now, why in the world would we have those two in the same phrases, right? In the same sentence? Well, hang on for this one. A fascinating and highly speculative theory linking two iconic unsolved cases. The 1947 Black Dahlia murder and the late 1960s, 67 to 69, I think, Zodiac killer spree. I want to let that breathe for a second. '47 to basically, the late 60s. That's 20 plus year difference there. But here they are, tied together. So let's read through this. On January 15th, 1947, in a vacant lot in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, the bisected body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short was discovered. She had been tortured, her mouth slashed ear to ear in the Glasgow smile, and she was posed with her arms raised up. Little blood at the scene suggested she was killed elsewhere, cleaned and drained, and then moved. Short, Elizabeth Short, dubbed the Black Dahlia by the press, was an aspiring actress with a difficult background. The investigation was massive, but yielding no charges. One early suspect was Marvin Margolis, alias Marvin Merrill, a 21-year-old pre-med student and World War II veteran who dated Short for a while. They even lived together briefly, and he lied about the relationship initially. He told the police that they did not have one, and later he moved away. His surgical interest and aggression notes drew attention, but nothing actually stuck. The case remains officially unsolved. Now, Laura says there's actually been theories connecting those two for decades. And yeah, I mean, there's theories that says H.H. Holmes was Jack the Ripper as well. There's a bunch of theories about this. Easy, Mike. You good? So, yeah, absolutely. The posing of the Black Dahlia, the killer wanted to make an impact for sure. No doubt. So, we're going to move ahead from 1947 to 2 decades later. The Zodiac killer terrorized the San Francisco Bay Area, claiming at least 5 victims, couples and lovers Lane and a cab driver, while sending taunting letters and ciphers to newspapers. One stubborn cipher, the Z13, the My Name Is, followed by 13 characters and symbols, sent in 1970. The Z13, I thought I had a picture of it, but I can't find it anywhere now. But it's the My Name Is blank, and there's 13 characters and symbols intermixed together to finish spelling it out. It resisted solution for over 50 years. Now, in late 2025, amateur codebreaker Alex Baber, co-founder of Cold Case Consultants of America, he has claimed a breakthrough. After 9 months of work using classic cryptography, transposition and substitution in the 2x7 grid, proprietary AI, and cross-references millions of names against census, military, marriage, and social security records. He says the Z13 decodes to Marvin Merrill, the alias of Marvin Margolis from the Black Dahlia case. And Laura here says that her killer was very surgical. Zodiac used a gun. It was not neatly as clean, so I'm curious about the connection. I agree. That's why I don't know. I'm going to finish this and then we'll discuss it, right? So this guy, Baber, argues that this links the cases. The same man possibly killed Short in 1947 and resurfaced as the Zodiac, embedding a reference in his codes. He presented publicly and gained some attention from retired LA Police Department detectives and author Michael Connolly. He also claims progress on the longer Z32 cipher. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second too. So basically, forensic cryptography context. Zodiac ciphers mix symbols, letters, and deliberate misdirection. The Z13's brevity makes it tricky. Multiple solutions are possible depending on the method. Baber claims that he used AI to narrow from millions of names to one, citing behavioral overlaps, taunting and control, and timeline geographic moves. Margulis had a pre-med surgical interest, echoing the precision bisection of the Black Dahlia, and history of aggression per military records. However, skepticism is warranted, right? Here's where Laura says, okay, but many people have always come out claiming they cracked the code regarding the Zodiac. He's not the first to use those techniques, and I'm personally very skeptical, as am I, and as is the vast majority of people around this case. Many amateur Zodiac solutions have circulated and have been debunked by experts. Official law enforcement has not confirmed the decryption. Sorry, got locked up. The Black Dahlia case suffered from media chaos and lost evidence. The definitive cross case link would require stronger forensics ties, some sort of DNA from the letters or the stamps or fingerprints or anything beyond one decoded name. Magnolius, he died years ago, limiting any kind of testing from him too. So we got this guy Baber, who let me find the name of his little company again. Co-founder of Cold Case Consultants of America. It's kind of, of course, the co-founder of a company like that would be the one to come up with this answer. Very convenient, right? Using all these tried and true things, these cryptography and transposition and substitutions in a 2x7 grid, proprietary AI, and cross-referencing millions of names against census, military, marriage, and social security records. He says the Z13 decoded to Marvin Merrill. Okay. So I'm assuming here in the next few weeks, we'll have somebody that says it decodes the Pee Wee Herman as well. Would make as much sense, right? In my mind, you're looking at a 20-year gap with the MOs completely different. Completely different. Nothing at all on the forensics front ties these two people together. Could it been this Morales guy that killed the Black Dahlia? Sure. I'm not going to argue that. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence that points to that. Could be. I don't know. He kind of fits. That's arguably so. But trying to tie him, turn him into the Zodiac killer, come on, man. Come on. Let's see what Laura here is saying. The MOs are entirely different. Yep, but this was the time frame that this kind of criminal profiling was in the beginning. So if this is the same person, they'd be well ahead of their time in regard to what police use to connect crimes. So, yeah, that's kind of where it's funny. We're not even in the same room. She's trained me. I'm not going to say trained. She has educated me in the way to think about this kind of stuff much better than I used to. But yeah, Baber, I doubt you'll watch this, but if somebody knows him, send this to him, because I'm going to tell you now, that's ridiculous. You're wrong. I'm some dude in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and I'm telling you, that's stupid. All right? Dude. Circumstantial evidence has pointed to hundreds of people. Yep, you're right. But I can tell you now, it ain't him. The killer of the Black Dahlia is not the Zodiac killer. C student from the mountains can know better than this Baber dumbass. All righty. This theory revives interest in both cases and highlights how AI, persistent code breaking, and code case work can generate new angles. Yeah, they can generate new angles. No doubt there. It also reminds us all victims, Elizabeth Short, a young woman chasing Hollywood dreams, and the Zodiac's victims, ordinary people enjoying nights out and working, that their stories matter most amid all these puzzles. We will monitor for any official validation or DNA developments, compelling connections, or coincidences. The evidence will absolutely decide that. Y'all know where I stand on this. Him being the killer or whatever, right? I mean, that is pretty upfront. I don't think I am surprising anybody. I think I'm being pretty clear about what I feel. And I think most of you out there agree with me that it might as well, it could be Ronald McDonald as much as it can be this guy, Morales feller, has been the Zodiac. That's just, I think, ridiculous. And I'm not afraid to say that I think it's ridiculous. All right. Let's see. What's going on in the chat right now? Yeah, the Bump Stop Barbie agrees that I don't think those two people are the same. For sure not. And let's do a whole episode on criminal profiling soon. For sure. I think that'll be fun. You'll have to be on that one with me because you are the expert when it comes to that. I do not read those kind of books for relaxational and educational purposes. That's on you, honey. Bump Stop Barbie has literature in our home library that is like college level textbooks. And I've seen her reading those and doing her when we're doing these shows, that she will use those pretty regularly to study up on it and to make sure that we stay as accurate as we can when it comes to these shows that we do. And she's much better at it than I am as far as knowledge about what all this stuff is. She is the expert. No expert. I just read a lot. You're more of an expert than anybody else I know personally. So, there's some book. I literally have a book on this. Yeah, you do. What's the name of that book? She'll tell me in the chat in a minute, but it's a little bit delayed. It's a DS5 or something. But she has several books about profiling and things like that. So, anybody who's watched this show before knows that she's the hostess for a reason. That I am not normally. I do sit in the driver's seat, but just to steer the ship, she's the one with the talent, not me. But that's all I really had tonight. It's hard to stretch it into a full 2 hours when it's just one person. I have great respect for Rick, and when he does all his show. My goodness, Rick Robinson, he does all these shows throughout the week, usually by himself. And it's hard to do when you're by yourself. So kudos to you, Mr. Rick. You are the man, and all your shows are great. And speaking of that, you can go to klrnradio.com and get a full list of all the shows that are on the website, and you'll see that he has many of them himself, and you can find something on there that you will love for sure. So the DSM-5, that's on mental disorders, is one of the books. But I literally have books on criminal profiling and forensics psychology, and I know she does, and I've seen her read them. They're not just for decoration. She is the reason that her parents locked their door at night. I will stand by that forever, and that will never change my mind. So anybody who reads Stephen King, I think it was The Stand, as her first book at the age of 6. Yeah. I married her. She buried the lead just a little, but I would not change anything. And this is my proof of life right now. So y'all don't have to check in on me and worry. Everything's cool. I'm good. So that really brings us to the end of tonight's solo deep dive on Front Porch Forensics. I covered the Gilgo Beach guilty plea and basement confession. And again, we will bring that back to a standalone show because there's a lot to delve into on that. We'll go back and actually look at all the victims and what happened there and do a deep dive on that one. And again, we covered the ongoing FedEx Athena Strand penalty phase, which will be coming up. I'll check back at FP_forensics, and we'll keep y'all updated on that. And then when the penalty phase does come out and all that's settled up, we'll do a segment on one of our upcoming shows about how that plays out. The Forvid Celeste Hernandez case, with this recent autopsy and digital evidence, I kind of covered and touched on that. And again, ongoing in process. We will keep an eye on it and touch back on that as well as things come out. And then the Michelle Rust, the 24-year-old case, cold case, and the new charges on that. That one's really up in the air. Of course, it's got my interest because I want to see where it goes. Let's just pray for closure for that family, no matter how it plays out. I think that's the best case for us to do right now, is just pray about that family gets some closure and some healing can begin, no matter which way it goes, right? And then the Zodiac Black Dahlia cipher theory. You have these guys that, I say guys just because this was a guy, but you have these people that like to interject themselves into stories, other people's stories, for their own celebrity, for their own recognition. And I honestly don't think this fella even believes that he's right about tying these two together. But for the sake of history and for the sake of closure, again, I'll keep an eye on it and see where it goes. I'll make any updates. And I will eat crow live on the air if he turns out to be right. I'll put, that's my word. I'll keep it. If he's right, then I'll give him his flowers. But that remains to be seen. So, will we ever know who Zodiac is? Well, about every 2 years or so, we have definite new evidence that guarantees that the Zodiac killer is such and such. I think that he's some senator's dad. What was that senator's name? I can't even think now. Ted Cruz. Like he's Ted Cruz's dad or some bullcrap. And I heard one where he's Woody Allen's, or not Woody Allen, but Woody Harrelson's kinship or something. It's ridiculous. And now all of a sudden, the Zodiac killer is the same person who killed the Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short. Hey, if he's right, cool. I'll give him his flowers and say, congratulations, you were right. But it ain't going to be right. But again, we'll watch at FP_forensics for any updates, and we'll let you know what we find out. I'll keep an eye on it. So we centered the victims throughout, or at least I tried to, throughout these shows here, or these segments here, their humanity, not just the horror that happened to them. Evidence over speculations is what we always thrive to base our outcomes on, is the evidence, not the speculation of their thoughts. Starting to sprinkle out here. I can hear it on the tin roof. So the in memoriam tonight, I've wondered if I needed to do one or not, because it is kind of, I didn't really touch on, but I'm going to do a quick one anyways. So let's go ahead and get that rolling before the rain starts. So, victims of the Gilgo Beach serial killer: Sandra Costella, age 28. Karen Vergata, age 34. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, age 25. Melissa Bartholomew, age 24. Megan Waterman, age 22. Amber Lynn Costello, age 27. Jessica Taylor, age 20. And Valerie Mack, age 24. Of course, we have also Athena Strand, age 7. And then we have Celeste Rivas Hernandez, age 14, killed by David Anthony Burke. Case is ongoing. Athena Strand, age 7, was killed by Tanner Horner. Case ongoing. Michelle Russ, cold case. If she's out there, we pray for you. If you're gone, we pray for you as well. May you be remembered either way, and may your family get some closure. Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia, age 22, died in 1947. You are remembered. Hopefully you'll be remembered as a beautiful, life-filled 22-year-old and not as some sort of Hollywood fantasy messed up thing. So let's keep these people, all these victims, remembered the way they need to be remembered. Not as victims, but as bright, loving, life-filled, beautiful people that they are, and that's why they should be remembered. So that brings us to the end of tonight's show. Again, it was just me by myself. Thank you all for joining in and helping out on the chat some. It's mainly just me and my wonderful bride. But I know we had some family out there too, probably on Facebook, and we were live on YouTube. So I know we got some from there as well. So again, we will keep everybody updated via at FP underscore forensics on X. If you followed us live tonight at Bumpstock Barbie on X, then you know you can find her there at Bumpstock Baker, at Bumpstock Stitcher. There's so many things out there. If you do an at Bumpstock whatever, it's probably my wife on X. She also writes for Twitchy as Laura W. So go to twitchy.com, check in there and read some of her articles. We have other members of the KLRN family that write there as well. So check them out. It's always good stuff to read. I am Bumpstock Ken on X. I also help with the Front Porch Forensics, FP underscore forensics. We have Front Porch Forensics on YouTube. And I'll be adding all that stuff later, getting that going. And let's see, that's pretty much all you can find me on as well. Check out klrnradio.com and at KLRN Radio at X. And you can see on the screen running across the bottom there where you can find us. But go to klrnradio.com. You can search up all their podcasts and their shows, and you can find something that suits your taste. Very, very entertaining, educational. We have a plethora of podcasts for you out there. And we even do some, I think last night was Treasure Island, and we've done War of the Worlds, and Alice in Wonderland. All these kind of shows that are redone from the KLRN Radio family as a unique play on it, and always entertaining. So go back and check those out as well. I guarantee you're going to find something that you're going to like. If we're not the right flavor for you guys, klrnradio.com, I guarantee you're going to find something you like. But if you do like us, please find us on any podcast player, Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker, at SPREAKER, whatever, like speaker, but with an R, Spreaker. It's a free app. Good time there. But you can go back and find any of our old archived shows. I think there'll be about 48 or 49 of them now. You can go back and listen to any of them. You can find us on YouTube at Front Porch Forensics, also on KLRN Radio on YouTube. But we go live on YouTube at the Front Porch Forensics YouTube page, and you can go there and find some old shows there with video as well. The podcast on Spotify and all that, that's just audio. But if you want to look at this handsome mug and my beautiful wife when she's hosting, then check out YouTube. You can check us out there. Might even see a dog come through and sit with us sometimes. In fact, you will definitely see that happen sometimes. But again, that's really all I got for tonight. Hang around, listen to some music I'll play here in a minute. Check klrnradio.com for your other shows. Hopefully we will be back next week at full force, me and the wife. And then you can see this power couple and set in with us for a while and have fun. But until next time, I need you to be smart, pay attention, and don't do anything that will get you let me start this over. This is terrible. So until next time, don't do anything that will make you the subject of the next episode of Front Porch Forensics. Y'all love each other, stay safe, and be good, and we will see y'all next time.
I like scary stories in the morning, and I like them at night. I like the girl talk vibes, they make me feel just fine. I listen to a lot of true crime.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. I hate to leave you, I really must say. Oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. Leave you, I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Baby, I just can't get right. Well, I hate to leave you, baby. Don't mean maybe, because I love you so. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. good night. Your mother, oh, and your father like it if I stay here too long. One kiss in the dark, and I'll be going. You know I hate to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night.